Good morning, floss tube friends. Welcome to my channel. It's all about cross stitching because all I want to do is to just stitch. My name is Tricia. Welcome to my channel for those who are new here, and welcome back for those of you who have been following me now for quite a while. This is gonna be quite the floss tube. For me, it is. I hope it is for you, although I don't have a lot to show you. So if you've been following me for a while, you know that I've been away for just over 2 weeks. I think my last floss tube was May the 4th, and then we flew out the day after, May the 5th. Man, this has been a crazy, what is it, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Insane. And all will be revealed. Massively exciting, huge news. So anyway, let me get on with the stitching first before I get into the live stuff, because I actually have some live stuff for a change. I worked on 3 projects. I went away with friends, and my friend doesn't stitch. She doesn't even understand the pull of stitching. So it was quite challenging for me, I have to say. I went on a cruise to Alaska, and we only had 3 sea days. Yeah, not a lot of time for stitching, and we were off the ship every day, except for I did claw back one day because there was no point getting off. Anyway, but I haven't done much. It's very frustrating when you can't get to your stitching. I don't know about you, but I find it very calming. When I came back, we flew back home on Saturday, the 16th. I have to keep checking my dates because like I say, it's been totally insane. So we flew back in on the 16th, and we came home here on the 17th. Yeah, I can't believe how much has gone on in the last 2.5 weeks. So anyway, stitching wise, I think I did surprisingly about 2,000 stitches in what, 17 days. Okay, so here we go. Let me show you what I've been stitching on. So I was going to do the Giro d'Italia, the bike race, thinking, you know, I'll be able to do that. No, I did work 2 days. I did 2 of the days on this, and basically I'm going to fold it in half. This is link, and I don't have a cover photo for it. So basically what I did on this, I got 372 stitches. I did all the black, all the outlining in black around the rest of his hand and down here. So basically that's 372 stitches, and that plan has gone by the wayside because I'm not playing catch up. You'll understand why in just a little bit. I'm going to put that over there. I'm behind on my WIP go. I did manage to get one finished. It was pandemic. I have 4 WIP goes each month. I'm going to try and catch up a little bit on my WIP go this weekend. It's Wednesday. Between now and next Monday, I'm going to try and catch up with my WIP goes. So this is pandemic. This is being stitched on a 28 count Lugana 1/2, and I used the sulky thread. This is a blendable and I'm never too sure which one is the actual number. I think it's 4055, and it's a lovely blue, and I like the variation on this. It's a 12 weight silky, so you only need to use one thread. So I'm not sure if I already started the 6th page, because I've finished the whole top row, which I can show you, but let me show you where I stitched. I got over 500 stitches into this, 541 stitches altogether. Oh, bear with me. Isn't it challenging when you've got a big piece of fabric to wrangle? Okay, where am I? Here. Okay. All right. So this is the 6th page coming down here. So I think I did a little bit before, but mainly this is all that I've stitched in. And it's looking really good. I tried stitching this on the ship, and I kept going wrong, and I was like, oh, just give it up. Because when you're stitching on the ship, when you're out and about and you just park yourself somewhere to stitch, somewhere quiet, no. I bet if I could have got 50 stitches in this, that's all I did. And basically I pulled them all out again because I stitched it wrong. Okay, so I'm wrangling the fabric a different way so I can show you how much I've done on this one. I have a lot of extra fabric. So this is where I'm at. Yeah, so, and then I go across. And like I've said, I've made a mistake in this page here, which I will correct when I get across there one day. Yep, too many projects, but I'm having so much fun. What can I say? Floss tube is definitely your downfall. Once you discover floss tube, if you were a monogamous stitcher or you had, maybe 2 projects, yeah, that all goes way out of the window. I don't know how many monogamous stitchers there still are who watch floss tube. It would be interesting statistic to find out of everybody who watches floss tube or has a floss tube, how many of you are still monogamous stitchers? I'd give you 2, you can do 2 projects. How many of you only have 2 projects or are totally monogamous on 1 project? I would love to know that, especially if you're a floss tube watcher, because it's terrible. I was watching Siski Stitches, and she keeps showing these cat charts, and I'm like, come on. I have 2 cats, what can I say? So yes, I've succumbed to the library of cats. I'm gonna do the right hand panel, see how far I get with that. We shall see. Okay, my last one that I want to show you, which I've got probably about 1600 stitches in since you last saw it. So I finished this row here. Haven't quite finished his beak. You can see the robin is coming in here. His beak is here. And I know when I finish these blocks here, I'll be getting some of the orangey red color in here. And I'm so excited for that. So this one is being stitched on a 25 count, 1/1 full cross. I can't even contemplate doing half across. So, you know, I've just got to live until I'm well into 100 in order to get these finished, is what I'm saying. Yeah. So I'm excited about this. I have tried to keep up with this, but I've missed so many stitching days. This year is going to be a low stitch count. It just is. It's just turning out that way. I kind of lost my mojo for stitching, but I must admit, as soon as I got home and, well, we picked up our daughter as soon as we stepped off the plane almost. Yeah, and she came back here, so we've had her visiting for a few days. So, you know, you don't really stitch. But I came in here yesterday and I started stitching, and man, it was such a relief and it was so enjoyable. I really get to the point where I resent my stitching time being taken away. I really do. I so enjoy it. And when you're stitching on a ship, I do have a stand. It's by R&R Frames from the UK. So it can be a tabletop stand, and it's just these PVC pipes. It's not, I can manage to do the two-handed stitching, but it's just not the same. When I was stitching on this one, on the ship, the amount of people that came by, and you don't want to tell them all to go away. I explain and I show them what the finished product will look like and things like that. I'm nice, even though all I want to do is just leave me alone, let me stitch. Anyway, so it was good to get back home and have that on my Lowry stand and just stitch away. Yeah, it was nice, and I'm looking forward to getting back to it today, at least a little bit. Okay, so at the moment, most of my plans have gone out the window, and I'll explain further in a minute. So I am going to do the temperature stitching with all of these buttons and beads kits that I have, but I'm not going to start it until Monday because I still need to sort a few things out. I'm debating whether to, because this is me, I mean, why do something by halves when you can go all in, right? So I'm doing these, each one of these. Sorry for the glare. So I've picked out 10. So it will be 4 rows of 5. I have another 10 back there. In the middle will be 3 of these kids ice skating, and then in between them I will have like Christmas trees, and I want a border of snowflakes. Now I've drawn myself a little snowflake, but I'm debating, and this is where you think I've completely lost the plot. I'm debating whether to bead the snowflakes. I'd love to know your thoughts on that, because it would look absolutely spectacular. Because all of these, obviously those familiar with these, all of these little kits have beads in. So it would be kind of nice to have a few beads in the snowflakes. So yeah, so I'm still debating about that, but as of Monday, I am going to start the temperature stitching. Okay. Also, on Sunday, I have decided I am going to do 24 hours of cross stitch, starting on Sunday and finishing on Tuesday. So you'll get a halfway update on Monday. So I thought that was pretty good. And then I have another plan, which I'll explain in a minute. So I don't know if I showed you this before I went away because it was all a bit insane. So I bought the fabric for the Buttons and Beads Christmas Village is what it's called. And I also bought, on the recommendation of quite a few people, a DMC colored card. You know, it's got the threads on it to help me sort out all of these at the back. And I've got floss organizers that I can put them on. So I'm all organized as far as that's concerned. Now, when I was away on the ship, you know, you can still buy stuff when you're on the ship. Somebody told me, somebody who came up to see what I was doing told me about this gadget. And I thought, oh, that's a good idea. It comes in this beautiful little case. It's a hard case. And you could put your scissors and whatever you need in here to take with you wherever you're going. But this is the gadget. And I'm going to try it out today on my full coverage one that I started last year, and I haven't even worked on it barely at all this year, on a Better to See You With red. So this is, look at this light. So you just have it round your neck and then it highlights what you're stitching. But you got two lights, you got this one here as well. But the beautiful thing about this is it swivels. Isn't that cool? So you can get it in whatever position you need it in. And it comes with, yeah, different tones of light, like the yellowy or the white one. So yeah. Oh, there we go. So yes, I bought that because we all need good light, and that would be great on a plane. Yeah, I've tried various different things. I have one that is on a piece of string and it's a magnifier and a light. No, I didn't find that very good actually. This is my temperature stitching plan. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what's been going on. So you all know, those who have been following me, you know that I've been trying to sell my house. It's a year now. Yeah, it's May. Yeah, a year. We did try for 6 months the previous year, but yeah. I live in a retirement community, and it's very much a destination area. We get a lot of tourists in the summer because it's a wine region. And there's 2 provincial parks, both of them on Lake Ontario. So it gets quite busy, and living in a retirement community is not my thing. I prefer to live in a mixed community, to be honest. But the driving force for this move is to be closer to my kids and my grandkids. It's not that I want to babysit all the time, because I absolutely don't, because I need to stitch. But I would like to help them out. You know, when the kids are sick or something, I can pick them up from school and look after them for a while. And of course, babysit every now and then. So, and it's so hard. It's so hard on us to get to them. In Canada, certainly in Ontario, we have a main artery. It's called the 401. There are other highways, so to speak, but the 401 is really the main highway through. And there are so many accidents. And for some reason, there are a lot of accidents between here and Toronto, or here and Kingston, which none of you know unless you live here, know what I'm talking about. But anyway, when my kids come to visit with their little ones, we have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, they're the youngest, they can be in the car for up to 5 hours, and it's not fair on them. That's when it's really bad, like bad weather, accident, whatever, holiday traffic. It could be any of those. And they're not even the furthest away. But yeah. And everywhere we go here, we have to drive. It's a good half an hour drive to the grocery store and half an hour back again. And then going to see our kids, trying to do things with the kids when the grandkids have got some kind of an event or something. It's quite the trip. And my husband now he gets quite tired after driving for so long. Yeah. So anyway, there's that. And then the other thing is his back isn't that great. And so all the snow removal this past winter was just the icing on the cake for him. So anyway, when we've been trying to sell the house for a year, and the comments were, the house is either too big for people who are retired, or there's not enough privacy. We're quite close to the house behind us, and it would drive me insane because I could see all the way through my neighbor's house at the back, all the way through to her front door. And I've never lived anywhere where I've been overlooked my entire life until coming here. So anyway, that was an issue, big issue. And I don't know why I didn't think of this solution before, but we fenced round our entire deck. Now the width of the house is, I don't know, 50 feet, 55 feet is the width of the house. And we put the privacy fence on all 3 sides. It looks amazing. It makes such a huge difference. My cats can go outside, although it'll only be for a short time. Yeah, the privacy fence wasn't finished 24 hours before we got an offer on the house. So this is how it went down. And I've tried to work it out on a timeline, and it was pretty difficult because it was so short. The fence was finished on Monday, the 4th of May. The 4th, 5th, I should say. No, hang on. The fence was finished around the 27th, 28th of April. We were told we were getting an offer on the 29th. And that kind of came in early on the 30th of April, the Thursday. And then there was back and forth. And then we settled on a price and moving date, which was for July, the end of July, because I said I want to have some time to spend and enjoy the deck. So we did that, and we left to go on our trip on Tuesday, the 5th of May. So part of the conditions for the sale of our house for our buyers was they wanted to do an inspection on May the 12th, and they had to do it by, I don't know, 5 o'clock. And the other condition was that they sell their house, which they didn't have on the market yet. Their house went up for sale on Friday the 8th of May, by which time we were on a ship. So they sold their house conditionally on financing, I think that was it. So that was Friday, May the 8th. So they sold their house within a week, because this is where I totally lose the plot. So on Tuesday, May the 12th, they did the inspection on our house, and that was taken off. That condition was taken off. Then the buyer's house was sold firm. They managed to firm it up before the 15th. Then our house was sold firm, but we had to negotiate on closing, which has now been moved up to July the 10th. Then on Thursday the 14th, we bought a condo, just like that. We've seen it. It was one we wanted, and we actually got a really good price on it because they'd reduced their price. We had a conditional offer on it, and the condition that we sold our house, and we didn't within the 3 months. So that condition went off, and they wouldn't keep it on. So earlier this year, about a month ago, they reduced the price of their condo, and we got it for $25,000 less than what we originally offered. So anyway, there you are. That's what I have. That's the big news. Woohoo! We sold our house, and I am in chaos. Yep. I'm in the process of packing because, yeah, I won't leave it to the last minute. So the condo is about 150 square feet smaller than the main floor of this house, which is fine. The problem is we have storage in the basement. And although I don't have a lot of storage, I don't have a lot in the storage, I don't know where I'm going to put it. We have a storage unit at the condo, but I'm going to see if we can get another one as well. I want to know if I can have that option, because I've got all my stitchy stuff, because I'm the one with all the stuff, right? A lot of you can relate to that. But cross stitch wasn't my first love. I used to quilt a lot, and I have a lot of fabric, some of which I'll donate here because they have a quilting group that I used to belong to. But yeah, that's quite a challenge. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure how that is going to go. We are going to sell some furniture and stuff because this house is actually 4 bedrooms, and we're leaving some of the things for the buyers. It was negotiated. Quite happy because I don't want the hassle of selling it. But we still have stuff that we need to get rid of. So this is my plan. And I hope you'll come along and see how I do. So on Sunday, like I said, I'm going to do 24 hours of cross stitch. I'm also going to see how many boxes can I pack in 24 hours. I'm combining the two. Yep, I am totally crazy, but that's okay. I don't mind. I don't mind. But that's how things have gone in the last, I went on a cruise for 10 days. We sold our house and bought a place. In 10 days. A little more than 10 days, because we did have the offer before we left, just about. So yeah. And when we were going to Vancouver for our cruise on the Tuesday, our flight was delayed, not once, but twice, and then they cancelled it. Then they flew us to Calgary, and then we went from Calgary to Vancouver. So instead of being in Vancouver at like midday, we got there at 10 or 11 o'clock at night. That's the reason why you fly in a day ahead, at least a day ahead of your cruise. Just an FYI for anybody listening who's going on a cruise, make sure you fly in at least a day ahead, 2 if you can. All right. I'm sorry, my life update was a little long-winded, but you understand. It was crazy, but fun at the same time. It was nice. And we celebrated with our friends on the cruise. So yeah, finally, we will be out of here, and winter will be a whole lot easier for everyone in our family. Totally. So I'm going to love you all and leave you. Have a really good stitchy week, and I'll see you again on Monday, and I'll let you know how it's going with my plans. My other plans are on hold until maybe the end of July. Yeah, the end of July. But yes, as you can understand, that my stitchy time is kind of reduced somewhat, but that's okay. I'm looking forward to the move. It will be lovely. We're moving to a place called Guelph in Ontario. It's a really nice area, and I look forward to getting to know it a lot more than I already do. So bye for now, and I'll talk to you on Monday. Bye.